Yo, yo, yo. Yo. What's up, y'all? Bro, look at Bitcoin right now looking like it's about to get stomped out. But nah, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I feel like it's something going to happen. What's up, y'all? What's up? What up, Lita? What up, TCW, Tree City West? The GOAT is the GOAT. What up, bro? What up, Gandhi G? Do I remember you? Do I remember you? I don't know. Where am I supposed to remember you from, bro? I don't know. But what's up, y'all? Yo, if you're on X right now, you come over to come over to YouTube. That's the chat I read. I'm about to post a link on my Twitter. So you should misspell, whatever. I don't give a fuck. But you should come over to YouTube because I read that chat. I do not read the chat on Twitter or X. You're talking to yourself for the people over there. That's all I'm gonna say. You talking to yourself. Oh, what up, Gandhi? He said, I'm from Drunk on Crypto. Damn, throwback. You had that one virtual deposit contract. What was that shit called? What was your proof of weak hands called? It was something like that. What's up, bro? Welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. Long time no see. Definite OG, though. Definite OG. That's a factor. What's up, Samson? Serious punch. This fool said, what's pop locking? What's pop locking? Hopefully nothing. Hopefully nothing is pop locking. You know, maybe dancing. But hopefully you're not popping any joints. Man, look at Bitcoin. It's trying its best. Oh, you're doing Drunk on Crypto starting this Friday. Bring it back, bro. There's still some OGs here. There's a few swimming. We getting ready for X1 chain. Most have fallen off. Only a few have position for what's about to happen. And you probably won't be able to get caught up. We're moving too fast. I can't even tell you what's going to happen here. This is my time to start tapering off the Zen Alpha. So let's just look at Bitcoin real fast. Let's just look at Bitcoin as we're tapering off the Zen Alpha. We got Ethereum. What up, T-Law in the house? We got Ethereum over here testing something, wants to do something. I don't know what it wants to do, but we're looking at here the 4 hour. And I think crypto's positive right now. Oh, where am I at? I'm not even here. What's up, world? This your boy, Crypto Bruh, aka More World Peace, the DJ / producer. I make beats, the beats you're listening to. I made that a long time ago. But now I just use this background music as I talk shit about the crypto industry. But today is May 27th, Tuesday, 2025, bro. 2025. Man, I had an amazing Memorial Day weekend. I won't lie, I kicked it off. I went and saw a waterfall yesterday. That shit was nice. It was perfect. It's perfect. Go steal some energy from the earth. Shit's free. Shout out to Nikola Tesla. But yeah, man, today is Tuesday, May 27th. We're at the end of the month. Decisions are being made right now. Am I going to pay my rent, or am I going to hodl these coins until my hands bleed? That's literally what everybody's asking themselves right now. And again, I'm feeling really positive. I've been feeling like this in crypto for a mad long time. Oh, we got Rolando in the house too. What it do? Samson says IDKY, but ETH Zen can SMD. Cartwheel shooting star. I feel that. Nah, man, we need Ethereum Zen. That's for our boomers. If you're out there in the Zen world and you don't know what the fuck to do, get some ETH Zen. That's how we sell it. If you're ever trying to sell XEN, it's the most simplistic version of it. Doesn't get any simpler. It is simple lemonade. But yeah, so we're looking at the RSI here. You can see Ethereum obviously wants to make a move. It's the only token that hasn't seen an all-time high. And a lot of us, if you've been in the space, you know, it's kind of weird it didn't see an all-time high. Like everything saw an all-time high. Man, even Solana saw an all-time high. And it's fuck Solana. Right? But what's crazy is Ethereum is slacking, and you can see here it's at a crazy resistance line. You got support, or you got resistance turns support, bitch. This that trading shot. I'm not a trader again. This is your boy Crypto, bro. I look at cryptocurrencies from a fair principle examination. Okay, like when I'm examining the cryptocurrencies, I'm making sure that when I get into the mix, it's just me in the video game called blockchain, right? If you know how blockchains work, there's all types of them. It's like athletic shoes, bitch. It's like race cars at this point, because it's up to you how you want to believe into your blockchain. I like fancy shit, sparkling. Except just now, Zensu would probably fry me because when I was eating dinner with him, I got tap water. But you know, again, I'm in America, bitch. You can order tap water, all right? But I get it, you know. Sparkling over tap for sure in fancy world, and that's how I treat my cryptos, like sparkling over tap. So Ethereum is due for some sparkling water, man. Where is it? All this money, but you can see where it is. It's right here. There, this is just insane. We're looking at the daily on Coinbase. They're holding this shit hostage. You're like, don't go nowhere, ETH. Where are you going? And currently, you can see that it's making higher highs. It's dumped a lot. People are where they want to be. Is where it's where my thought is. In my expertise in crypto, there is a moment where that phrase, when the dust settles, that shit actually happens. But you have to keep your ear to the street. Usually happens right after a holiday because everybody's so discombobulated. But the people who are really putting in the work, they're or they got this shit under a magnifying glass. So any split moment of opportunity where people are not paying attention, that's typically when the market makes a wild move. Okay? Because no one's paying attention. Everybody just had Memorial Day. They cashed out. The family's happy. Belly is full. You know, they was out on the water yesterday. I was out on the water, bro. It was chilling. Beautiful day. Thanks to... Who knows why we get beautiful days? You can go do the research. But yeah, I love this part of crypto. Everybody's cashed out and their bellies are full. And they're trying to figure out, what does this space mean to me? Like, what the fuck? You've been here this whole time and now you're going to start asking yourself, what does it mean for me to be here? Like, fuck out of here, Brody. We've been here since day one. This is the moment when the pendulum switches. You've never seen it before because you're brand new. I've been here for a minute and I've seen these type of things. People are bubbling. And again, we're coming to conclusion of consensus. The whole gang is like in the bitch. Like, yo, okay, I think this is all we got left. Like, this is it. Like, there's no up or down. It's just all we got left, right? If you look at the way the monetary value is currently, or the monetary system in the world, bro, that's why I keep making that joke. Like, I'm not going back to fiat. Like, you're fucking tripping. You think I'm going to go back to classic fiat work, bro? Like, I am not a construction worker trying to build buildings that no one's going to be inside. Like, I'm trying to build programs and gardens and the internet that people will be inside of, because that's the future. Again, it's fucking 2025. 220s, bitch. 220s. Double dubs. And a 5. Like, yo, it's time. The time is now. But again, that's why timing and planning and all this shit, it makes a lot of sense. I made a post today on my X account where I was like, I really mean this too. Especially after last week. Like, this week we're back on the weekend stream. Like, last week I was doing shit, so I didn't really stream as much. And I felt very rushed when I was streaming. So I wasn't putting a lot of in-depth thought in the summaries and whatnot. But yeah, today we'll do some fun shit, I guess, or we'll dissect it. But I made this post where I was like, Zen is industry. But Zen is what dot, think a little bit. Zen is industry. And what's kind of crazy about like Zen world now, and again, this channel, we talk about Zen in its relationship to the overall market. Like that's what the point most people are missing. It's like there is a relationship here between how Zen is becoming some sort of staple, some sort of flag, for representation, right? What does it represent? It represents fair crypto. It represents first principles. It represents Satoshi's vision. It represents chaos. It represents destruction. It represents fuck mediocre. Like it goes on and on and on. Like what typically the representation is, but they all kind of like point again to the same thing, which is industry, right? You don't know what the industry is, bro. You just know it's in the industry. And that's what's hard to do in crypto. There's not a lot of cryptocurrencies that can make industry, especially on a token level. Theoretically, if you do it on a token level, you're special. You're definitely a unicorn. Token level shit is Bitcoin. And we might not ever do that again unless everybody can get their mind behind the purpose of why we're here, which is probably not gonna happen. And that's just me being an emo doomsday cypherpunk, thinking like, how do you keep extending this olive branch as the world becomes more aware, right? As people become aware of crypto, it's not going to be because they heard a message and it spoke to them. It's going to be because they're trying to get rich, right? So again, building narratives of how you get rich, yeah, that's poetic, right? That's why people love Richard Hart, because his narrative to get people rich was very poetic. And now it's like on the, who knows, like it's like, are we at the climax of his story or like what the fuck? But I don't really give a fuck. I'm not trusting my finances with Richard Hart, right? But when you look at cryptocurrency, you also kind of need that juice in this new era because attention is everything. No pun intended. The attention span, I don't even know what the average attention is. So we're going to have to ask Grok. Let's see. Let's see. What's the average attention span of today's human? The average attention span of humans today is often cited to be around 8 to 12 seconds for focused task, based on studies in the early 2010s. Damn. So yeah, this is true though. You have 8 to 12 seconds to capture someone's attention before they're out of there. Peace. I'm done with you. And that's in crypto. Like this is what we're actually trying to achieve every second. Every second, everyone is trying to brute force this, whatever the fuck this is. And this is why, again, I think one of the best things to think about in Bitcoin, if you really want to understand the core, is understanding how, again, Satoshi figured out how to monetize SHA-256. That is really Bitcoin. How to grab their attention and hold on to it. They had a lot more. I don't know what it was back in 2000. Let's see. Or I should say, let's say, what about in 2006? Because this is, I think, when Bitcoin really started to pick up and people started to like send ideas about what they could try to do. Data on human attention span in 2006 is spare and less studied than today. Wow. So they didn't really study attention span in the early 2000s. That's actually quite fascinating to me. I can see all this other shit, but I just care about this part up top because Grok gives you the meat and potatoes pretty quick. They want to keep your attention. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense though. You know, again, in 2006, people still were like kind of in the 90s. And then that's why I still believe realistically, we didn't see a shift in technology until 2015. And we've been in this like, I I guess you can call it distribution model of what is the future of tech. And there's another version of this, which I think is the AI movement, and why it's good to be in the AI, because again, you'll be really ahead of the crowd in 2020 or 2000. Imagine like right now, if you're in the AI, you know how to prompt. You've got the Rosie the robot at the crib running off the GPUs. You got the the X1 node that powers the Rosie the robot subscription plan. Like you're just rocking it because you're so hip. That's all it is. That's literally all it is. So I think right now we are seeing the corporation of cryptocurrencies. We're getting ready to see what it actually looks like to build a corporation and put something below it. But that's not the game, right? That's still not like the game. Like the game is to make a token that people want, like Bitcoin, so you don't have to do any work. That's the actual game. Fuck all this work shit. Satoshi literally figured out how to monetize SHA-256 and then gave it to everybody, and then they did the work. And this is the proof of their work, right? Still, that's why I'm like, whoever that person was, they were so ahead of everything. They were just like, oh, if we do this right now, ta, we just got to pull in the right people and ask the right questions. And then bam, bam, bada boom, you get Bitcoin, and all the right people that were like, nah, I was there. I told him this. I told him that. Right? Look at Adam Beck. He's still trying to get some sort of recognition for being close as fuck to the kernel of Bitcoin. Bro, went as far as HBO. Adam Beck. Kind of wild. R.I.P. Hal Finney. The real Bitcoin by the numbers. Or the real Satoshi by the numbers. And in that like esoteric version of the Bitcoin story, Hal Finney, his birthday is May 4th, or May 5th, excuse me, and Satoshi's birthday is April 5th. So in numerology, they technically have the same birthday backwards and forwards. So don't discount my guy Hal Finney. I think he figured out what to monetize. That's why I'm like, oh, Satoshi could have been a coder, but he also could have been an economist first. Like he could have really been really good with numbers first, and then got the idea. We're like, oh shit, if we take this and put this with this, like this could do this. And we've been in this experiment for 15 years of like what it really means to have ownership, have sovereignty, be your own bank. There's so many ways they've flipped it and twisted it and ripped it, but at the end of the day, Bitcoin can only go as far as it can with that narrative. That's why Fidelity has it now, right? That's why we're moving into stablecoins. That's why blockchain is becoming, I hate to say it, corporate. It's fucking weird, right? But what's wild is if you're coming from the degen world, there is a token out there that's actually like what you've been looking for. You just don't want to look at it because maybe it hurts you. Maybe you put $1,000 into it in 2023 and it fucking hurts your heart. And I mean, yeah, sometimes you got to get spanked in crypto. You're degen, you get it. You got to get spanked. All right, we're getting to this code. Like in the beginning, I just said this shit. I'm gonna say it again so you can take it in. All right. The community is coming to consensus. It's very collaborative. Everybody wants the number to go up from Bitcoin to Zen. All right. And wherever you are, at least I hope so. I hope your token is getting ready to go up too. But yeah, if you're not here for this part, man, it sucks. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things to talk about with the whole Zen going up thing, especially with like how I just monologued this whole notion that like, yeah, everyone's tired of not going up. So Ethereum's probably about to go up and everything can follow ETH. And it's like it's like literally beautiful synchronization. ETH doesn't really lose too much like power because it's going up. Solana can get some headroom. Maybe we get like, all-time high Solana You know, I'm not, I mean, Solana's like a sell for me, but at the same time, I'm trying to hold it because X1, as we've heard, the native coin XNT, the first destination it will be on will be Solana. So Ethereum is kind of starting to look like it's fading into the black. And I'm not really mad about it because again, if you do all the research, you know, you come to the same conclusion I come to, which is like, once upon a time ago, somebody told me that Ethereum was going to go to $19,000. That's when I should have fucking sold my ETH. But instead, I put a line up here to be like, you really think this shit's going to go to $19,000? Like, damn. Right? So it's not that it can't reach there. It's just like the realistic play here is that you can make 50% and keep trading up. Now, how many people from the earth get into crypto? That is what's unpredictable. And that is the real topic that everybody is trying to solve, like, or the problem that everybody's trying to solve. That is the topic at hand. How do we get the world in? Because they want to get in and get rich, and they've been burned, right? Even degens. Sorry, degens, but everybody's been burned. You only got smart people that want to get in. They only got so much capital. You really need, I like to call it the hot dog dollar or the bottle water dollar. You know, in the summertime, if you really need some money, just go to the dollar store and buy a case of water. And then, you know, you're going to probably get each water for 25 cents. So you can sell one water for $1 and get 75-cent profit. Right? You just need to be there when people need it. And you got to be smart on when you want to sell. Smart when you want to buy. Right? So in an economy that's obvious free market, these are just the cycles that are going to play out. And that's why, again, I don't even know when the switch flips for the whole world to come in. I kind of have a vision now because of the way that everybody's been positioning it. What up, Dake? Hold up. This fool said 19K. I know, bro. That's why I still have it on my chart, though. That's like 19,000. It must have been somewhere back here. Yeah, it must have been because this is where I drew the line. It must have been somewhere in 2022. It's like 19,000. Jesus. Should I hold? Like, yeah, hold. I'm like, man, that's nuts. But yeah, shout outs to the bro. But yeah, like that's kind of why, yeah, like I'm seeing the narrative now. Actually, I see it here too. Tree City West just said a USDC pumping to $1. USDC it's gonna be a hard peg to $1. But yeah, I had posted this too on my X, man. Make sure you follow me on X, bro. Make sure you like this, subscribe here. I don't know, if you're on YouTube, hit the like button. If you're on X, hit the heart, man. Help a brother with his algorithm. But yeah, this was kind of funny. A stablecoin with an IPO. So yeah, Circle is looking for a buyer. They're looking to get the fuck out already. They're looking. What's this guy's name? Gerald? Is it Gerald? Oh, maybe it's not Gerald. We're just gonna type in Circle. He'll pop up. He got to, right? Oh, nah, he doesn't. But see, what's crazy is that Circle. Oh yeah, Jeremy. So this is the owner or the CEO, co-founder of Circle. And man, oh man, has he been active lately. I followed this dude and he had 20,000 followers. So he's been either very active or they're trying to make him very noticeable. And this is what I'm thinking is super funny about this situation in crypto. It's not even in crypto. It's like, this is the corporate side. Again, crypto's going corporate. There's nothing you can do about it. The people with the resources, they're turning it into USDC and they're paying developers. Now, unless you're going to be supporting Crypto Brush channel and giving him Zen, Ethereum, and all this other stuff, yeah, the hyper focus is all going to be like that. Like, it's going to be where the money's going. And there's a great notion in this ideology of the dollar really being backed by stablecoin. Now, if you know how money works, money doesn't work. It's just a receipt of value, in my opinion. But long story short, our money isn't backed by anything in the United States. Okay, so if you're in the United States, your dollar is backed by debt, right? The more debt there is, the more money flowing around, right? So in America, we got like this fantasy concept of money because we are the Fed of the world, right? The Federal Reserve essentially is the thing that makes the money. Right. That's why we pay attention to the Fed. That's why Bitcoin all of a sudden has magnetized itself to how the Fed moves. I fucking hate it. Right. I fucking hate how crypto moves with that notion. But it goes back to what I'm saying. If you were in the beginning of mining Bitcoin, you might have more say. But they're pushing those people out. Right. If you're selling your 50 minted BTC now, you're losing the battle. Right, if you got to mine Bitcoins, literally 50 Bitcoins at one time, and you're selling them right now while USDC is trying to IPO and find a buyer, then theoretically you're selling too early. Because this is a war. This is a full-blown war. And what's going to be wild about it is they really want everyone to transfer their value into stable. Like, oh, don't hold it. Don't hold the Bitcoin. That might go up in value. Why don't you turn it into stablecoin? Or why don't you turn your Bitcoin into Fidelity paper? And then Fidelity will give you interest in USDC or some dumb shit like that, you know? But that's corporate. That's for the noob. Right? That's for the noob. And it's just like so unfortunate that if you're not really hip to how blockchain works, you know, you're not going to understand the DGen lifestyle. That's always going to be the background of crypto. The DGens. The people who know how to make the blockchain work like it's magical. Jeremy got the rest of the blockchain, bro. Damn, he did a .sol and a .eth. This motherfucker don't know what to be. He rocking both sides. What world do we live in? This your boy Crypto, bro, and I don't know where I am right now. Man, that shit isn't stupid. You know, I'm one of the OG ETH fanboys. Was your contract called Gandhi if you're still around? I think that's what it was called. What's up, Brian? When's Zibek done? And I got another leg. I'll have the sparkling margarita. Lols. But yeah, so USDC looking for a buyer, USDC going IPO. Everything about it just smells like stank and makes me feel like there is an opportunity for another Bitcoin. It's just, how do you educate people? Again, because we all hit it in the threshold. If you see what I'm saying here, everybody's hitting threshold. No one knows exactly how to do mass adoption, because mass adoption really does require a coin that has no owner. So if you put it this way too, so the super chain, ETH super chain OPT. So like the super chain for Ethereum, this is pretty fascinating. Because when we look at it, like all of these projects are essentially saying our ecosystem is denominated in Ethereum. So Ethereum now just becomes a token. It no longer holds the weight of governance. It no longer holds the weight of whale this, whale that. It's just a fucking coin. It's just a token. And it's actually bullish for ETH, because that means all of these businesses are on board to use Ethereum as a token, right? But we know, like, if you're in crypto, that like this was a forced hand to design economy, because we couldn't get people in. We've been here for 15 years, and Bitcoin couldn't do the mass adoption. It can only mass adopt so far. It's the 10-minute blocks, you know. It's the smaller blocks. Fuck, all the stupid politics of like people holding on to like the ethos is why I'm really into Zen again. Like in Zen word, we don't have anything against anything. We just care about the best. Like we just want to move the best. We just want to do it the best. Whatever is the best, we're all in line with that, you know. But now we're gonna be in this world, this corporate world. And I also think we're kind of like a shield for Solana. You would think the roles would be reversed, that like Solana would shield X1, but X1 will be the experimental level that will show the technology of Solana and inspire others to make other layers, to try to do it different, to, you know, again, to try to steal from the market share that we've created. But you won't be able to, in my opinion, you won't be able to do it because you don't have Zen as your anchor. Like Zen is our anchor into the crypto ethos forever. And it's based on blockchain, whatever blockchain you want. Now, again, this is why I think we're bullish right now. Jack Levin had dropped some gems in Telegram. Here, I got to find somebody. Somebody had posted it. All right, let me pull up my Telegram, actually. Hold on. Let me make sure my shit is chill. But yeah, this kind of like goes into the whole burn thing. Your DXN equals first principle of crypto. Actually, nah, man. DXN did not do that. If you really been here, you know damn well DXN was a cash grab. They baited everybody in and then dumped Zen and DXN at the same time, which I'll never forget. Broke my little heart. I said, I mean, yeah. I brought, man, whatever. But it's all good though. That's what I mean. Well, at least we burned our Zen. We learned. We had something to do in 23, you know. But in 2025, I do not think DXN is first principles of crypto. That's on God. It's stupid. You're gonna burn auction with gas, and that's what what happened. Like since gas went so low, it totally even cut DXN in half, because now you could have gotten it for crazy low. So the theory isn't to, or I don't know how to say this, but there's a notion of burning Zen that we are exploring experimentally. Everybody is experimentally burning. So first principles of crypto theoretically should be something that does not disturb the system, in my personal opinion. And maybe I'm stupid, but again, I think we're ahead of the race, at least if you're following the Crypto Bro channel. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to show right now. Hold on, let me look at this telly. Here's my Telegram. And my Telegram's so tiny though. How do I make it bigger? Is it like a magnifying glass? Let me see if there's one in my settings. Oh yeah, here we could blow it up some. Yeah, restart it. Restart it, cut. Damn, now this shit's stupid huge. Now my lady gonna be able to see my Telegram. I'm gonna have to scale it back. Hold on. But where's it at? X1 blockchain chat. X1 blockchain chat. Oh, too big. Hold on, we gotta scale it down. But now you can see it. Let's just put over this. Bow. All right. There it is. All right. So check it out. So I guess somebody came in and was asking a question. And basically trying to see if Jack could clear up some confusion. So over the weekend, on Sunday, Masking Game had a Twitter space and everyone was just chilling. I guess Jack pulled up and he started talking about the burns. And you can go back and listen to this. But essentially, I like how Brian M put it here. I don't know if this is the same Brian in here in the chat. What's up, Brian? If this is your meme, we're reading it. And everybody has the right to be confused or has the right to want to understand. I'm just personally thinking that they're really making it more simple, and it's like so simple it's almost unbelievable. And it goes back to what I'm talking about, like with the whole like XNT or X1 chain has the ability to be a top 5 blockchain because it's following corporate. You can totally see how they're building corporate structure. I've been called it a long time ago about how they were like, eventually it's gonna achieve it because the world wants it. The world actually wants blockchain, but it can't understand it. So it's gonna need a corporate structure for people to grasp onto it. And again, like it's probably gonna be just like tech, bro. Like whole bunch of companies are spawning. Everybody who was first, you can go do whatever you want. You can go make a blockchain too if you want to. You can go Gavin Woods it. You can go, Charlie Hoskins, whatever the fuck you want to do. You could Justin Sun after this information. But yeah, you're gonna need to figure out, are you going corporate or are you gonna go into the shadows? And the way that they're designing it, it really does feel like going into the shadows is actually code for just staying in Zen. Because Zen is free, it's immutable, it's everything that you want it to be. The thing it is not is on a chain that you may like, right? The one that might be going up might not be the one you own. And that sounds like everything in crypto when you really put it like that, right? Like, oh, I have BZen, but CBZen is going up. Or it's like, oh, Zen is going up, but not the one I own. And that's a lot of things in crypto. So I do really enjoy the way that they're laying it out and trying to divide each piece of this TGE into X1 chain, because after the TGE, we're in that bitch. We're in X1 chain. We're SVM, moving at the speed of light, changing the world one application at a time. And everybody's going, in my personal opinion, enjoy it. They're actually going to enjoy it. It's going to be a breath of fucking fresh air. The fart you can let go. That's X1. That's not me. Shout outs Brian. He had to make sure he claimed that's not him. That space was juicy. Shout outs Brian though. He got, oh, you're, nah. BM, no. So what Brian was saying though was there's a snapshot and then a pool of XNT that will be shared between all Zen burners relative to how much Zen was burnt. So if you go back and listen to this, maybe I'll bring it up. I think I remember the time. Damn, do I do that or do I read this? Here, let's do that. Let's go to Masking Game. So I did listen to it, and I'll repost it so you'll have it. You can go listen to it. It'll be on my X account. That way you can go and listen to it too. But I think it's like,
yeah, and I
Spanish thing, but I don't like the Papa.
Being called Papa.
I think it was like,
Well,
maybe it was 155. I remember looking at the times. I was like, I got to remember this. Maybe it was 155.
like a day or two before launches. I fully understand that we don't know what's going to launch. And listen, I get all that. I get all that. But I'm just saying that.
So you think the price is going to be lower on Zen when X1 comes out?
Maybe that's not it. Hold on. Let me see if it's 20.
Why are people minting so much? Why is this data processing? Why am I paying strong community? We have a sticky trillions here. You want to get on a more expensive?
Philosophical, and over there they just got a king, and this is the way it's going to get done. And
Damn, see, I forgot to time it. My
it is
bad.
cool to see them just getting possible founder of a fork of Solana. Cannot confirm or deny, but apparently he wanted to.
Unless it's all in the paper, it's like consider it still be in the air. We can still change our minds. So
maybe it's here.
that subject to change. But this is what we're leaning to. We're leaning it.
Okay. This is the meat and potatoes. So yeah, it's 250 is where you want to go. 2 hours and 50 minutes. I thought it was 1 hour and 50 minutes, but it's deep.
Running the architecture or whatever the miners. Not exactly the sacrifice, except I guess those companies like Vast and those others, these would be.
People were asking questions about like the burn option.
Okay. All right, here we go. So this is the whole bit. We're going to listen to it right now. This is Jack talking about the burn auctions, and then I'll show you this conversation between Jack and everybody on Telegram.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Anybody got any more questions? I remember we were talking about before Jack came up. People were asking questions about like the burn auctions and how they were going to perform.
That was the anonymous caller. That wasn't Jack.
Oh, okay, yeah, the anonymous caller.
Check to change and
Hola.
whatnot.
¿Cómo está?
Muy bien, gracias.
Silly. So yeah, Bear, Dr.
I went too far back.
To come up with the proper answer and the proper concept of understanding what we're getting into, we're dealing with Bitcoin. Listen, game that
They like projects like ETH.
I know you had some questions. Jack's up here now. Jack, how much time you got for us that we can ask you these questions?
Okay. Well, I got like a half an
Put
hour
that mark
drive
down.
back to North Shore, so we can talk
But
at length.
thank you for your time. Just want to say that also. So if anybody have any thoughts, concerns, grievances, put them in the comment. Message me.
I just actually got a DM from someone last night. I'm not going to name any names, but I kind of have like a similar, just to like a opinion, not even opinion, just kind of want to ask Jack's take on it. So basically the message says like he's not trying to FUD it all, but he's in Zen and X1 because of like freedom and decentralization. And his quarrel is like he feels like we're backtracking. Because we see what happens when VCs are involved with like projects like ETH, and like venture capital only invests if they get preferential access, and it seems like there's just like potential for partners to come on, right? And they're just I don't know. I know that there's just we want to grow the chain and we want to be able to have key partners, which I think is important, but. I think just from the message I got, I didn't even know how to fucking answer. It's like, what am I going to say? But I figured obviously I'd ask you, because that's just a concern of, I think just people in general, because like we don't really know what the fuck's going on, but like we're all participating and playing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so very good question. And I often think about it in terms of what is the right solution. And to come up with the proper answer and the proper concept of understanding what we're getting into and why we do certain things we do, we need to understand what decentralization means to us. So to me specifically, it means fairness. Fairness of be able to, have censorship resistance, have self-custody, transparency. Ultimately, the one other component is value, right? You can have all those things outside of tokens trading on the blockchain. Like literally you can play a game that's decentralized, fair, and you can have self-custody of some points. But when it comes down to value creation, we want obviously the value to rise in dollar terms so that it can be an actionable onboarding system that can, grow wealth for everyone, and it has to function properly, like so on and so forth. And so again, the question comes, all right, so let's see all those things happen. There's value. And what about fairness? Can fairness be achieved if I get paid by VCs to do what I do? And so far, I've been paying out of pocket for the whole project, including, the legal shenanigans we've been through last year. Now, one could argue that maybe it's fair, maybe it's unfair. Ultimately, somebody has to pay for something, because otherwise things do not grow. Like, the reason why I do what I do is because I want to create future value, and I want to share that value with the community and everybody in the world, so that they can globally participate in the sort of system that we're building. But the build itself, it isn't just like Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is not a very complicated system. It, of course, evolved over the years, but initially it was launched fairly in a way that nobody knew what the Bitcoin value was, and it was basically worthless. It was just a bunch of degenerates that like to play with code. They were running miners, running mining and CPU, and it was like nothing, right? So there's nothing to think about. Like here, things are much different, because we're dealing with smart contracts, we're dealing with liquidity pools, we're dealing with people that already have spent money on, like, for example, being in Zen's ecosystem. Some people did it successfully, where they long-term minted and they have gotten the value of like 2x, 3x, whatever. And some people bought the top and lost all of their money. So regardless what the position we're considering, people have put in money into the ecosystem, okay? So technically, if this ecosystem does not develop and becomes like zero value moving forward, then it's kind of like a waste. Like, everybody would understand that. So on the question of VCs, chains do not build themselves. Like, one could argue that Solana has built everything, we just copied it, and therefore we don't really have to have any sort of thing to work on. However, it's not like that we just want to run a copy of Solana. We actually want to develop other things that we feel can do things differently than Solana would do, and therefore we need to have a budget for hiring engineers, making sure the chain is safe, doing audits, like paying for all of that. And that is where, like, for example, VCs would be a welcome element of the project. But again, the question is fairness. Do VCs get unfair positioning within a project like this? So generally speaking, if in America a venture capitalist or an investor or an angel investor or a friend that gives you money, they execute this action of giving the project money, there's certain legal implications. Like, for example, I am the CEO of XEN Labs. I cannot take this money and spend it on another Lambo or whatever.
Buy a Lambo, Jack.
Because that is actually illegal to do under corporate governance of America, of United States. And so that protects VCs' money in terms of like how the money is allocated and spent on. And there's also board meetings, and there's like people taking minutes, so on and so forth, even for a private company. Now, that is fair to the investors. So that's the one equation of fairness. The other equation is like, how is it fair to the community? So what VCs get into, they put up the money for something that doesn't even have value. The value is effectively zero. So the risk reward for the VCs is on the most extreme level, meaning that they have spent their real cash, real dollars. It could be a little, could be a lot. That doesn't matter. Point is, they're getting into something that will log them for years when it comes, comes to the liquidity event and so on and so forth. Like, no VC can scam the project because they're required by law, by the securities law, to be locked for a number of years. And generally it's 4 years, generally. Meaning that you cannot actually sell the tokens when the community gets their hands on tokens, like so to speak. Most of the manipulation in the project like ours is done by the market makers in centralized exchanges.
Yeah.
And we have seen projects like I would say like Celestia definitely has been manipulated. You can see its chart went like to 20, now it's 2. There's a project, Mintra, the P.o.P token just dumped 95%. Nobody knows why, but they just know that it happened on the exchange. And so generally it is the founders of the project make a mistake, and they send the allocation to the centralized exchanges that manipulate the price, scalp all the value, extract all the value, and then they just dump all the tokens on their own community, by the way, like within the exchange itself. And of course, it doesn't help, and generally projects like those don't recover. And so anyway, I would say having a financial backer for me to grow my team, actually to execute on a very ambitious roadmap that we have set up for ourselves, is a proper thing to do, with the caveat that the reason to do it is to grow value of the project for everyone. So in other words, we get good VCs, we don't just grow the value for the team or for the VCs, we grow the value for the whole community through the project execution. And that's what's the kind of like in my mental framework, the constitution of the chain and of the project and of all of the actions that we are going to take. They have this one goal in mind, which is growth of value for many years to come in a vibrant ecosystem that can challenge existing players today, like Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin. And we want to win. So we want to win. We want to get into tens, maybe hundreds of billions of dollars when it comes to the market cap. That's kind of like my vision. I mean, those are just numbers, right? But those numbers are, they're important because they are part of the scoreboard among the global marketplace of blockchains that tells people that you have done something right. Or at least you're doing something right, or maybe you're just very clever and convinced that you're doing something right for everyone. That happened also.
So real quick before we finish this shit, that was a great question from Simple, and that was a great explanation by Jack to tell you why VCs are important, because this is the whole point of like what I've been streaming about for like the last 2 fucking years. Hello, this is your boy Grizzly Bro. We're going to talk about XEN and its relationship to the overall markets, right? Everything is just a stupid scoreboard because everybody's already lost the fight of the champion, like that shit is gone. But what we do have, like I was saying before, is we have a lot of people who believe in it. They don't know what they're really believing in, but they believe in something, and they're just kind of waiting around for the next hot thing, right? And the best place to be in the next hot thing is going to be in this top 10. The new coins that come into this top 10 are going to be like the new kid on the block. Like, how in the hell did you get up here? Type shit. So, yeah, you need VCs to get up here because you're not going to get the money lent to get the attention. That's why Cardano is still up here. That's why Doge is still up here. There's a lot of people invested in Doge. Actually, there is a lot of people with vested interest in Doge. So piggybacking on Solana, it's pretty smart. And again, I like that little 1, 2, 3. But I'm gonna continue this because he talks about the burn in this next few bits here. So we'll go ahead and listen to that part.
So, I mean, reminds me of Richard's sacrifice scheme. Definitely convinced the majority of the people with Ethereum and hacks to put the money into this sacrificial wallet that and that was before the.
He's just talking shit.
Most maybe it will help it in the future. When it comes to everybody.
Well, I don't know that masked in gaming means well though on this. Not
Jack Levin could get you waterboarded in a Dubai hotel room like tomorrow, bro.
Well, one can only hope. One can only hope.
This whole cloud is ridiculous.
So, Dr. Bear, I know you had a few questions. Thank you for coming up.
All right, so this is when he talks
kinda
about
your first
burning.
time up here, maybe a second time up here with Jack. Try to get your questions out and talk to him.
Yes, Jack. So I still would like to get to on the allocation that you discussed about that, and this is specifically on pre-launch, with all the not sacrifice, but all the burning of Zen that has been occurring all the way up until this point. Whenever that you design the tokenomics that is going to be upcoming, you said this is not, there's no competition on this one, but the fact is, and correct me if I'm wrong, you will assign a particular allocation for all the Zens that's been burned. And if that is the case, that is only a fixed amount of allocation for XNT. So that to say that if whatever the burn is for up until today, let's say it 2x's from this point on, then doesn't that mean that the XNT allocation just got diluted 50% from today, if it were to launch today versus in X amount of time, where twice the burn of the Zen comes in? Is that a right concept?
So just to kind of summarize what the bear just asked, if you're kind of like, what the fuck? He's trying to intuitively ask Jack Levin in sections, essentially, due to gas cutting in half, right? Gas at one point was 300, then gas was 150, right? Then 75, right? And so on and so on, and down to 1, and then we got 0.5. So now we've halved it. We've halved gas. So now there's a lot more burn currently than there was in the very beginning of Zen when people first started burning. And it was kind of like an unforeseen event. It's black swan on gas. Everyone heard about it, but no one really believed it. And Zen kind of speculated on that belief, and it shows, right? The G ranks essentially could be kind of like a benchmark of belief. Like if you didn't or did not believe, and on the chains where people believed that gas would be low forever, the G rank is extremely high. On the chains where people believed gas was going to be high forever, the G ranks are extremely low. So there is a little bit of a discrepancy, blah, blah, blah. Right? There's a lot of fucking supply is basically what the bear is asking. And he's asking Jack, how do you plan on dividing this? Right? Because, it's basically diluted. Right? Long story short, the burn is diluted. So there has to be some sort of other idea than what was there before, because again, I can master a bunch of Zen right now, or I can buy a bunch of Zen right now for way lower than someone spent to make it 2-3 years ago. So this is Jack's response to how him and the team plan on dividing burned Zen before it's burned for XNT, right? Because that's essentially what the bear is asking. What do you do about the Zen that's been burned before you have the TGE and people are burning for that event? Because that's what we're not burning for yet. You're burning, and then that even gets even more trippy, because I was thinking about it, because I was like, yo, actually this is even more trippy, because he said burn point, but now we're talking about pre-burn or pre-XNT burn, and then post, or how do you say this, pre-XNT price burn. So before the XNT has a price, that's what we're currently in, the quantum state of there's no such thing, right? But eventually there will be, and then you'll burn your Zen again. Some people are just waiting for that part. They're waiting for post XNT price. So this question is really geared towards anyone burning now pre-XNT price, what the fuck are y'all gonna do? What are y'all gonna do with our XEN? So let's listen in on what Jack says.
So here's the concept. So let's say there is some number of XNT allocated, whatever the number is. Just imagine it to be some number. I'm not going to name any numbers because it's going to be taken out of context, but it is, let's say, a set number. When we launch and do a TGE, that will eventually lead to a price discovery on Solana, because we're going to launch the token on Solana also. And there will be some allocation for the stake miner that we're building for people to stake Solana and earn XNT through yield. Okay, that's going to be wrapped XNT. That's going to be liquid on Solana. It will be the first place where the price is discovered of what XNT is worth. Now, let's say that for the sake of argument, this wrapped XNT is worth $1. That makes the chain a $1 billion chain. Okay. Now we come to a point where the chain has launched, it's being used, the tokens are generated, and the price has been discovered, or at least within the time frame of you looking at the chart, you know what the price is. Now the snapshot hasn't had been done yet, meaning that everybody's burns. Whoever burned for DXN, they have it, but there is no snapshot yet. Okay.
Told you.
If somebody burns after the TGE, but before the snapshot, those burn records also play, because the snapshot definitively stops the rest of the people burning, and basically that's like the line. You cannot cross that line, because you cannot just continuously burn and put in the burn records into a moon party and dilute, as you would say. So we have.
So this, yeah. So okay, yeah. I guess he actually answered it there. Wow. All right, so he answered it there. I had a question for, does this mean that I get double the burn points? Do my burn points move over? So, yeah, that does throw a wrench in it, guys. That throws a huge idea here. Okay, so that solidifies it all. But yeah, so you hear there, if you burn before the TGE, which essentially is going to be after the announcement of some sort of Solana staking program or smart contract or something like that, I guess. And he's talked about it before. Essentially, you're just going to time lock your Solana. So you take your Solana, you plug it into a program, you say, all right, I don't need this for 3 years. I don't know how long the days are or years. I'm just going to say 3 years. And you lock it away and you get a time bonus for your lock. And that's what he's saying. There's going to be a set allocation for that specific DApp. And then that DApp will be used to price discover how much people value, I guess, the idea of XNT at this point. I get that's kind of where I was going with it, was like, oh, this is true. Like, this kind of helps with a lot of the legal or legalities. Like a lot of the things, or where we are now is we're really dealing with shipping the product and making the lawyers happy, right? Like I'm saying, X1 is going to be corporate. You've never been part of this before, and you probably didn't even know that this is all the steps you needed to take to get in front of your face. And that's what he's been saying. He wants X1 to be in front of the masses. And it's not an easy peasy lemon squeezy, let's drop a Bitcoin style rollout. This is definitely corporate. It's some corporate shit. So what he's basically saying, again, is you can burn as much as you want. And if you do, there is a set allocation for burned XEN before the TGE. That's all he just said. And what I have to get out of my head now, which I was thinking I was going to have to figure out anyways, is the concept of saving your XEN is essentially just waiting for the moon parties. Because up until the moon parties, you'll have like, or and the moon parties be like every 30 days. So like you'll be able to like build an idea of how much you want to burn, but it's really going to be for the whales, because the whales will probably hold their XEN until they move over, or, you know, it's going to be up to them, whatever they want to do, because they're going to hold the weight either right now. This is why, yeah, this is going to be really, really interesting to see how the market reacts to this. Because the people who have the XEN hold the keys right now. Like and it's up to them to do whatever they want to do. And that's what I mean. Yo, Jack he's a madman. He's a genius. It's crazy. The mind games he's playing with people that actually know with people who have value is insane. So I do kind of expect a lot of people still to sideline themselves, because you're speculating on a non-existent number. But this could be a really big number. If you remember how they said they were going to allocate it, it kind of feels like, I'm just saying this out, I'm just crypto bro pulling this out of my ass in an old statement, but they said 300 million. So I'm curious to if it's still that 300 million XNT that's allocated for the burns, and if that is what the ratio would be based on, with all of the XEN in one big bucket, right? So how you burn XEN is going to really be on you. And I think there's some alpha in there too, but I'm going to really keep it on the low key. If you can kind of understand what I'm saying, like, it's like the first burn is about how much you can burn. So if you catch the concept, it sounds like we're trying to burn XEN on every single fucking chain and just get rid of it all. If you have it, like, there's no reason to hold it anymore. Like, if you got a shit ton of MXEN, why are you holding it? Are you retarded? You know, or it's like, you know what I mean? Like, we're getting to that part of the experiment. We're getting ready to see how many people actually have hands. Everybody's going to have to show their hand now. And you don't have to. If you're a whale, you don't have to show your hand until the moon party. Theoretically, you could keep selling the chart down until the moon party, because that's when everybody's antennas rise. Unless the community some way, somehow changes the narrative and gives them profit and they dump it. Then we change everything. But again, the price needs to, I talked about this last week on Friday. I said either XEN has to go up in price and reward old holders so they can sell. And again, that's turning someone's $1,000 into $10,000. So we're going to need a real 100x. Need 100x. Where's that shit at? That's way up here. I mean, yeah. 125 million market cap from where we are. And motherfuckers are selling, dude. They selling their ETHs. And you can see that's a resistant line too. They selling the shit out of their ETHs in up here. But again, it might not get back down here because this is the bottom of the announcement. Right? Even look right here. Look at everything is lining up right. Like, you've been sleeping. God is sending the signal now. But wherever you are, again, you're positioned because you are positioned. And just like I said before, as if you're following the Crypto Bro channel, you should have been had C ranks, you should have been had stakes, and you should have been burning. And this should not be nothing but, okay, cool, competition is here, right? And either we getting discounts, or we getting pushed out. That's it. There's only two roads here in this degenerate expression. But let's just keep listening on what Jack kept saying here, because yeah, you got to figure it out.
We have two very specific numbers. We have the XNT allocation on X1, whatever that number is, and then we have a snapshot that will happen on a particular date after the price has been discovered. And that snapshot basically says, okay, well, now we know for sure how many burn records we have. So we have on the left side, we have the burn records. On the right side, we have the allocation. Between those two numbers, there is a ratio. So you take the allocation, you divide it by the burn records, you get your conversion ratio. Now that means that whatever you have burned, you know exactly what the number of XNT you get. Now, it may be not enough XNT to compensate for your burn. We just don't know, because Zen have had various, value over the years. Point is that we cannot capture all the value. We can only say that here's the number of Zen points with the snapshot. Here's the number of allocation. If you divide one number by the other, you get this sort of like a ratio, and then whatever you have, that's what you convert into. Now, one caveat: it is likely, but it hasn't been decided. And actually,
you didn't burn
unless
enough,
it's all in the paper, it's like consider it still be in the air. We can still change our mind, so be mindful of that. Subject to change. But this is what we're leaning to. We're leaning to the most simple way to get XNT into people's hands, in the most fair way too. So that we know that you have already competed for, basically Ethereum gas cost and all that. That game already been played. You already like either bought UZen, minted UZen, burned UZen. It's a lot of work that has been done by the community. So now we just want to give people XNT prorated to their action within the ecosystem, and that's fair. The other thing that's fair, we obviously we want to protect the price. Anytime when there is like a protocol that just gives out the tokens, they end up being dumped. So likely we will set up a time period as those tokens unlock for all the Moon Party participants. So like they don't get unlocked right away so that you don't dump. And it's fair for everybody, so there's like a slow release over time that protects the price.
Got it. Thank you. Can I squeeze one more question on VMPX?
Then it goes in on VMPX. But yeah, so that was basically Jack's breakdown about the current state of Zen. So that's currently what you've been in this. I've been kind of saying it for a hot minute, but nobody really wants to move. And it's actually, again, to my studies, I actually believe this is one of the best ways to release a token in this modern era. Too much speculation, not enough culture. Not enough speculation, zero hype. So you kind of have this like tango between how you keep it juicy and how you keep it fundamental, right? And we have something special here in Zen because we actually have the Degen agent as like our foundation, right? The cypherpunk is the foundation of Zen. And then since it is essentially you going into the blockchain and just grabbing out fucking space, at the discretion of the blockchain, whether the blockchain is going to give it to you or not. Theoretically, Zen it's just a crypto coin. Just like I was saying before, the super chain is designed for Ethereum to just become a crypto coin, to take the stress off of, ETH is trash, right? Of course, ETH is trash, but not optimism, not base. Shit, even for those in the back, they'd be like, not Pulse Chain. The ones in the back, what are you talking about? What you talking about? Now, does this mean your fucking token goes up? No, your token does not go up, right? Like I said, nobody knows what's going on here. So I doubt this information pumps Zen. I still think the whales have a heavier hand because not a lot of people are swimming these waters alone. Like, look at this stream, bro. There's only 15 people here. We're chilling. Like, there's nobody in Zen world. Nobody cares about that data except those that have been here for this long. Now, the game is on you. Now, how are you going to play this game? How are you going to set up the booby trap? The whales are on their way, right? Because a whale's gonna tell another whale friend. That's one thing you got right now. All right, you're a shark, bro. You're hanging out with whales right now. You're starting to see them bitches go like this, different directions. Like, why are the whales going different directions? This is where the feeding ground is, right here, right? She's like, man, I'm infinite amount of fish. The whales are going to get their whale friends, bro. That's why it's quiet. ETH is the real nigga chain. For real, niggas don't know how to let go of ETH. Let it go. Let that shit go. But again, this is where I'm at with this. Just to bring it all in. You've got to make a decision. It's up to you now. The ball is in your court. Are you going to burn your Zen or are you going to hold your Zen? Are you going to follow the mission or are you going to get caught? I don't know. I'm biased because that's what I'm saying. You're going to get caught. You can get caught holding the bag. You're going to chase it like I mean, but maybe I'm wrong, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people will come and treat Zen like Bitcoin. So complex to get there. It's going to take many talks, many nights, many heartbreaks. But maybe it can. Maybe it can achieve the Bitcoin euphoria. It has the ingredients, but what it does not have is the fucking intelligence. Like, everybody is retarded. So we might be in a state of retardation, and that might make it really hard for Zen to go up. That's the only reason I'm like, this is only going to pump with retards, and they're not really around right now. A lot of the people in Zen are super smart, so they're more likely to burn the Zen. And that's why it feels like you should hodl it, because holding it and not burning it means you're going to reap the rewards of the intelligent people burning Zen, because it's intelligent to burn Zen. You want to be first to XNT. You don't want to, that is where you want to be first for sure. Now, if you can run both plays, this is where your skill set comes in. And why most people tend to cry. I'm so fucking stupid. Like, not my bad. You ain't got the skills, bro. To juggle 5 things at one time. I mean, I really cannot juggle in real world, but I could juggle the shit out of crypto. I don't know why. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm like, oh, if you don't know how to juggle, you're about to fucking fumble every single Zen you had. So you might as well just burn it, because that's your destination. You don't have, it's unfortunate, but maybe you can achieve it. Right? The achieving it would be able to manifest having portals. Like I said, every portal already covered, right? I've got a bunch of mints on base. I got a bunch of mints on optimism. I got a bunch of mints on ETH. I'm established in the Ethereum Zen, nucleus essentially. And I know there's other nucleuses out there of EVMs, but I don't have those tokens, right? I only have Ethereum, and it just so happens to be ETH is the second biggest blockchain in the world. So I don't think doing ETH related Zens is a bad idea, right? I actually think there's a science on top of how all 3 of them work together to really explain Ethereum. You can really speak to ETH if you know how to use each Zen coin in that super ethos, I guess, right? If you don't know how to, you should figure it out, because this shit's going to be fire. But you ain't going to be able to learn when fireworks are going off, okay? So you got to do it now. But yeah, there's all the Zens out there. You can get into whichever one you want to get into. All of them should, again, a rising tide should lift all boats. The question is, again, can you get the resources? Which brings forth the question of where should I go? That's why I'm most bullish right now. I'm going to keep it real just for the homies. He said, I'm finna bridge. I think MZen is the one if you're trying to burn, because I had said this before. I was like, the only way that it can be profitable is if we get rid, or only way this works is if we get rid of a ton of coins on the back chain projects. And this is why, low key, if you don't know what's going on, this news is not for anyone who's positioned. It's news for people looking to gain position, I'm already positioned. Now, I might not have XEN, but I understand it. And that's why I'm like, oh, okay. If people really take the bait, I'm going in on XEN. And the reason for that is because it has the most fucking supply. So if I'm going to join, like, okay, think of it this way too. Now we got to get the burn records. We don't have those yet because that might be a mystery forever. And then the anon of the burn record up until like X1 chain is like what makes it super crypto. Because you won't know who has like the 50 million G ranks that they made on Ethereum POW. Like, you don't know who has that. You know, but you know that's the reason why they got a shit ton of supply over there. So if that person burns, right, they're going to have a massive amount, but it's all going to be gone because this is their only way out is to burn now, not when the moon party happens. They're going to be diluted in the moon party. There's no way they can go against chains where people can constantly make the XEN. So that's why you know for a fact Ethereum POW, all that shit's going. Phantom, all that shit's going. Polygon, all that shit's going. Eve Moss, if they haven't yet, all that shit's going. Every chain that does not have a future, all that shit is going. And then that's where we're going to see the chains that might have some sort of Zen economy going into the 26, 27 era, 28, 29 era. But if right now, you should be trying to scoop up all the shits and burn them shits on XBurn, aka burnsin.com. Minzen.com coming soon. Minzen.com coming soon. But we got burnsin.com right now. I don't know how much is burning. Let's see. It came out with Ethereum over the weekend. Wow. So we got CBZen up to 110 trillion. Let's see Ethy. Let's see what Ethy is running for. Oh, we got hit it again. I burned a little bit of ETH. I went and bought $20 worth of Ethereum and burned it for the culture. And this is like where we are now. So technically you want people to sell it down now. Like, but this is what I mean. It's out in the open. Up until Jack said something, we were trying to tell people to sell it down for funny. Like, yeah, man, sell. But now you're going to have these noob ass motherfuckers in here. Yeah, man, you should sell, which might incline people to want to buy it. Because they're like, why is this whack ass motherfucker telling me to sell this shit? Who is this motherfucker telling me to sell my Zen? You know, and that's why I'm like, oh, man, it's going to be a crazy effect. But how I burn this right here, how I spent $20 and burned, you know, 340 million Zen. Like, this is going to change. Like, as post TGE happens, this is why they don't want the big inflation, which is AKA anything before the burn parties where the token is real, because that's all ambiguous participation. If you really wanted to participate, you would have burned your coins. If you really want to participate, you'll return, you'll buy, you'll burn. If you really want to, if you want to cry and like make attention or try to like just be behind, like you're basically behind, and those people will become more and more quiet because they'll realize like, damn, I'm just super behind. Like, oh, nobody cries anymore. Like, damn, I'm really behind on the Notion type shit. But yeah, like maybe you do want to save your $20 Zen for the real auction. And that's kind of what I was trying to get at, where like right now, like on Ethereum, maybe you do want to save your $20 Ethereum. Maybe you do want to save your $20 OP Zen. Maybe you do. Right? Maybe you do want to burn the shit out of the CB Zen you have. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. CBZN's like the anomaly now because it's denominated in ETH, but it doesn't have the 1 amp, so it suffers from hyperinflation. So you need a lot of people to burn their Zen over here. But we can see from XBurn that the best economy will be in base. So who's to say someone isn't building, Zen tools so that they can provide the right community stuff, so people can turn up on base. I got my XBurns NFTs. What's up, Jesus Christ? I'm glad Jesus is in the house and he got his burn. So burn a little bit, but yeah, here I want to see real quick. That's all. Yeah. You might not want to burn ETH and OPs in. You might just want to burn everything else because the AMP is just so high. That's why, like, low key, I love CBZN, bro. But I don't know if anyone sees this vision yet. I can just tell from this, like, this stupid $154, and I'm not going to buy more of it to try to get it above and beyond. As a community, we need to come to consensus and achieve higher prices based on relative value. Like, we believe it is valuable. And I also think that, again, I've said this before, don't hold a chart up. Fuck that chart. Charts are fucking stupid. You're not here to diamond hand anything. If it's not giving back, give it up. Now that's the realest thing in Zen. If it's not giving back, give it up. The thing is you better just know what's happening here. And I told y'all, if it goes under the 40, it's a buy. So that's what happened with CBZN. It went under the 40 and it bounced right off this trend line that I've had here since last year, June. So technically CBZN is putting in a higher high right now on its last year price, and it just dipped under the 40. So it could try to go lower, and that's what I mean. This is where we are now. You can sell your Zen if you don't want to, but hey, I'm getting the best ratio on Zen per burn right now, whether I buy it and don't burn it or I buy it and do burn it. Now, I just know, though, like, again, I'm being smart about this. I'm not an idiot. That these numbers over here are gigantic, and you're going up against Polygon, Phantom, ETHPAL, Pulse Chain, EVMOS, Base Chain. And that's why, if your favorite chain isn't at the top of this list here, there's not enough supply. You got to go to a different one. And if you happen to pick the chain that does have the high supply, then you just like kind of like, you want a little lotto. But if you didn't keep the coins and you sold all the coins, then yeah, you did not hit the lotto. You actually fucked up and you sold the price low, and now you're going to have to go back and buy them, or you're just going to have to sit out and just sit out. That's why I'm trying to decide what I do. I need to see more people take the bait. But I don't think anyone is thinking about it like me yet. So I'll just wait for y'all to catch on. Cause y'all gonna catch on. Like he just said it, like all of that's how you said it too. The moon parties is where the bonuses are. So I guess this will show it. I had posted this a few weeks ago, or a week ago, from Jack. Where's that shit at about the moon parties? Because it kind of has the verbiage in it. Man, I post way too much. I gotta stop posting. And shit said, we ain't got no more posts from you, bruh. All right, we're just gonna do my man Jack. Let me close this out. I guess I didn't need to show the Telegram back and forth. Damn, this shit freezing up. It don't work no more. Oh, what? Get me out of here. Bro, I hate when you go to look up something and it never like searches. It should be fucking you up. But where's it at? Come on, give it to me. Come on. You know, I know where to find it. Let me see. I gotta find this shit. Hold on. Damn, I guess I don't know. Damn it. Why can't I find this OP post? Whack. Straight up whack. But there's like an OP post where he talks about the like multiplier. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at with this whole burn thing. Is there's going to be a multiplier for ETH and for XEN. But now it makes a lot of sense that the multiplier is on the moon parties. It's not on the pre-allocation burns. So, yeah, you should have kept your Zen, I guess, right? And you could hate Zen for that, like, or you could resent Jack, like, oh, you told me to burn my Zen. And it's just like, at that point, you're just sounding like a yes man, as people used to call me back in the day, which is kind of fucking hilarious. But like, yeah, it just sounds like you were waiting for him to tell you what to do instead of just playing your own game and then getting situated with time itself. Like right now, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I'm actually trying to figure out how not to miss out. Right? How not to miss out. Because you could miss out like on this great allocation of X and T, and all you had to do was go and get a bunch of XEN and just burn the fuck out of it for the culture. You just get like $1,000 worth of XEN and just burn that shit. But yeah, that might not be ethical for some people, but then again, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know how much they burned over there. Here, let's see if we can check it out on ZenPub. Shout out to Joseph. He has some burn dashboards. Now, I won't lie. Some of them don't work. Some of them do. Maybe he'll fix it, but it's kind of hard to track burning with these EVM systems. It's a very dated server-based thing, and a lot of it takes him calibrating the data and relaying it back to the user. So sometimes, again, the data is kind of wishy-washy. But yeah, you know, if you want to support Joseph, so he got that high stream data, man, buy this man a coffee, support his website, you know, that will help, you know, get ideas off the ground quicker if you're out there. But looking at like, so this is the one thing about this doesn't track like X burn and other various burners. So this is just a simulated amount of burn between 3 dApps. So you can see on Avalanche, it's 13 trillion. Right? Yeah, 13 trillion Zen that's been burned. So that's it, you know. Like I think like another thing too that like everybody is trying to do with this shit is they're trying to like make it so that Zen is like a currency amongst like a singular representation, most likely, and that just doesn't feel real because each of like, if we think about this like quantumly, like if we really put like a quantum scientific notion on top of this shit, real talk, right? Like if we really like put the lab coat on, every single Zen is its own state. Since they don't share the G rank, since each G rank is different, then each Zen is its own state. So technically, none of them are the same. So to put them together and make them relatable is you're technically retarded because like you're disregarding the fact that each one shares its own state and they are not the same, right? And it's really favoritism towards the ideology because of some human being saying it. That's why, like, we need to get past this burn shit and get to X1 chain because everybody's waiting for some human to give something some sort of value instead of just seeing how, again, you're just reaching in the blockchain and making crypto. And if a lot of people do it, it's hyperinflated. If a lot of people don't do it, there's no tokens. It's as simple as that. X burns on fire right now. There's a lot of people not making them, so they get capped up. Right? Only 2 billion XEN has been burned on ETH. There's a lot more XEN to be burned. 14 worth 14,000, so that's pretty good. I think this is a good one. I have a lot of strategies behind it, but nobody really understands it. Nobody's trying to play game. Nobody's trying to survive out here, so it's all good. We're just gonna get all the coins, and then when our strategy really goes live, you're gonna be like, holy shit, they really thought about this shit. And yeah, we've been thinking about it for months, years, if that. Let's see how much XEN has been burned on Polygon. $26 trillion. Let's see how much is burned with, what is it? What is it? Let's see how much they got over here on the scoreboard. Oh. Polygon is dying as a blockchain, though. It's kind of sad to watch it. Nobody's over here at all. No one is over here. See how the active mentors is fizzled out? It's just the same-os. That's why I don't think anybody's going to see what I'm saying. I'll give it like 3 days. If nobody sees what I'm saying, it's over for y'all. It's fucking over for y'all. So I know how to read this shit. It's over for y'all. Y'all don't see it. Damn, y'all ain't got no stickers on Polygon. It's over there. 5 people. The highest bid was in March at 33. It's dead over there. And this is what I'm talking about. It's dead as fuck. 96% of the supply is still available compared to what has been burned. Here it's saying that 115 trillion so far has been burned. 115 trillion, well, plus the 126 or the 26 trillion. So that's 141 trillion has been burned out of the total supply of Polygon right now, which I think is like quadruple or some shit. Some crazy ass number. A lot of people might too be too poor, like they don't know how to like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna give it some time because I'm gonna let you poor motherfuckers sell because y'all might be too poor anyways to like comprehend what I'm saying about this. Like, oh, if you want to front run the fucking man, nobody. I mean, this is so funny. I'm not in position yet, so I'm just trying to like hint it. But like, let's see here. Yeah, they have 2Q, and most of it is liquid. They almost have a Q staked. So this is what I'm trying to get at. Most of the supply is in the hands, or most of the supply is out and about. Not all of it is in the DEX. Right? Only 95T is in the DEX. So this is primed for a confusion where everyone's just like, what the fuck is going on with Matic or Polygon? They're like, what the fuck? What is happening? And then that's what's happening. And then what the thing is that everybody's so liquid that they might just keep selling. But if you get what I'm saying, like if they keep selling, that's fine because this is where you want to be to burn all the motherfuckers saying. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to be where there's no competition. Bro, everyone's gonna be so fucking dumb. Watch, this shit is not gonna happen because you can't do it on Phantom anymore. Where can you get Phantom coins? You can't do it on ETH anymore. Where do you get ETH coins? And you could go over to ETH.POW, but that's what I'm saying. ETH.POW, they showed their hand already. All of the people that have ETH.POW are going nowhere. Let's look at their burn. And then this is what I'm saying. You would suffer from this like effect is everywhere now. This whole like total staked versus liquid supply. Man, y'all motherfuckers don't even get it. I already know y'all motherfuckers do not get it. Some might get it. Alita might get it. They're heavy in XEN. Hopefully they burned it. Hopefully you burned it, bro. If you've been burning your XEN, you're up. I actually haven't, I don't know the price over there. I haven't done any research on it, so I'm fucking so in the blind. All right, here, let's do something. That's why I'm saying, like, oh, this is a blind side for everybody. If this is the game of Survivor, everyone would be blindsided by Polygon because it has the highest G rank and the most inflation. It made no fucking sense. But this is why I'm saying, like, you would start chasing this theory because you're so fucking dumb and you don't get it. That, like, the concept is not to chase when you learn. The concept is to beat everybody there. So then once everybody realizes it, you need to be positioned in the next big wave, which will be Ethereum, optimism, base, because those are the most accessible after the Xenian or the Xenian notion. Then you'll see some other ones pop off. Maybe Avalanche pops off a little bit, right? Maybe BCH pops off a little bit. How long they pop off, I don't know. That's why I'm like, yo, the roarers, the runners, as they say in crypto, that's what you want in this Zen thing. You're going to want the runners. The runners are going to be optimism and base and Ethereum. But people just don't understand it yet. Right? Ethereum, pal, I want to include you in this because you guys are fucking cool. But the thing is that no one's going to come and pick up this total supply. You have it all. You minted all the coins. So you are the machine. There's no reason for someone to go over here and risk $1,000 in a liquidity pool of 250. I think let me shut the fuck up. I think they have a bigger one. Hold on. No homo. All right, $4,000 worth of liquidity. Trading number 3 on ETH-POW. So now there's a lot of upside here, but again, that's what I'm saying. You're going to go through the gauntlet to get to the Zen, and how many other people are going to follow you through that gauntlet to get there? Are you just pumping the bags of the people who've already made the Zen and giving them the option if they want to get out or stay in, right? Like if you're starting at 0, you want to go to the chain with the most inflation. If you're burning the chain with the most, it's, I don't know. You guys are retarded. See, what is this, bro? The lower the price, the higher the burn record for me. Kind of like the higher the socks, the downer the fool. Yo, make that shit a meme. X burn changed everything. Yeah, X burn really puts it into perspective because, again, I would say burn on X burn because it helps the Zen price. So you want to give back to the community. You want to burn with X burn. If you want to, and that's where people don't understand what's happening here. There's too many moving parts and they don't know what to cling on to. Right? If you're not even coming from the place of I want fair crypto, you're already in fucking a cyclone. How do I get out of here? Man, I don't know how hard this pumps. Here, let's look at it real quick. Let's look at the holders and then we'll do some quick diagnosis. It took me like 2 weeks to get into optimism and like understand everything. So, because again, the thing is, it's a small group of people. It's a very large holders numbers, but it's a very small group. Oh yeah, this is the thing about this motherfucker. Most of the coins are in the exchange. Are they still delisting Polygon from MXC? Is this shit on CoinMarketCap? See, this is the alpha, but you got to understand how Zen works to even do it. Because then you could also, you could also spin up a batch minter and try to mint in front of it. I don't know. Here, we'll look at some things real quick before I get up out of here because I got to go to the gym. But I just want to see something here. How the fuck? How can I see? That's what I wanted to see. But I don't see it here. I want to see XEN See, because that's going to take me here. But you know how you can see like the markets that it's in? That's what I want to see for XEN. Damn, they got Zen all over the place. Well, here, let's go to MXC.